Hi guys, Blake here today with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful upper Lake Taneycomo. It is Monday the 7th of February and I am joined today by Brandon Butler and Nathan Shags McLeod of Driftwood Outdoors, and we're going to bring you the one cast today. It's a nice beautiful day here on the lake. We got temperatures in the low 50s, bluebird skies, and no water running. Today the three of us have now fully converted over to the what I like to call the micro mop. Basically all I've done is take a full length mega worm, go to the bend of the hook and chop it off with a pocket knife and leave just a little piece of mop on there. Brandon and I are throwing the yellow micro mop, and Shags decided to be different and go with the pink. We all have that on 6X tippet. We all are using the same. This is what it looks like. Let's get it to hold still. We all are using the airlock indicators, and we're all fishing about 6.5 foot deep. We are sitting directly in front of the tennis court right now, and we are positioned just about in the middle of the lake, casting towards the north bank. Oh, let's see. So they last night they varied from the schedule. The three of us actually went out fishing last night on the dark side. They were supposed to have the water turned off. However, at about 5 o'clock yesterday while we were doing the one cast, they blew the horn off schedule, and they actually left the water running all night into this morning and didn't shut it off until about 1 today. So a little bit different there. Didn't quite stick to the schedule. I think that them turning that water on we got out there a couple hours after they turned it on, and they ran about 2 units, which is usually a pretty good pace at night for swinging the jerk baits like we like to. However, I don't know if it was the water coming back on that the fish didn't like or what, but the bite was not very good. I think we may have boated 5 fish or so in a 3-hour period. And today we have been out here for the last probably 2 hours now, maybe a little more, and the fish are making us work for it today. We tried the micro Turner micro jig and a few different colors. I put on the Derringer jig that we sell in the shop, the Darren ties up. I tried one of my own 50th ounce jigs that I tie up, and Brandon's hooked up. I'll get my line out of the way. Maybe I want to keep mine in the water though in case I have a chance at catching one on the first cast here. I'll get a net out for Brandon, maybe. You're playing him on 6X line, so swing and a miss. Got him.
Alright, nice work, dude.
Alright, once you get him unbuttoned, if you'll step down and show him to the camera, so everyone knows what a fish looks like today. And so Shags was leading the day. He had been throwing the 1/32 ounce jig for most of the time that we've been out here, a all sculpin 1/32 ounce jig, and his method of delivery was casting it out.
Beautiful.
Casting it out and scooting the jig across the bottom, essentially, instead of a traditional jig where you lift up the jig off the bottom a little more, and that was working for him. He was leading the pack at 3 fish for quite a while, and I'm gonna say no fish on the first cast. And finally I decided to give the old micro mop a try, and managed to put 3 in the boat myself, and that all kind of turned on in the last 30 minutes. So we all
quickly changed over after those 3.
Yeah, it didn't take long to convince everyone in the boat that the micro mop was the way to go for today. 3 fish in a 30-minute period was the hot streak. So that's what we all decided to go with. And sometimes when the fishing conditions are tough, you just gotta get out here and get out your fly boxes and just keep changing flies. So I don't really have any fishing reports other than our report from last night and just right these last couple hours. We're hoping to get out tonight maybe after they turn the water off and give the lighted indicator and a jig a try. I think I talked about it last week a little bit when they were turning the water off around 10 or 11 at night. We got out here with the lighted indicators and the 1/32 ounce jigs and did really well. But that was our plan last night and they decided to run the water. Can't really throw those jigs under a float with the water running at night. Oh no! Swing and a miss for me. So what brings Nathan and Brandon down is our CFM event, the Conservation Federation of Missouri. And they come down and do some podcasts with people for Driftwood Outdoors, and I think Brandon had some stuff to say about that, so I'll let him do some talking here.
Yeah, the Conservation Federation of Missouri, state's oldest, most active conservation organization. Phil Lilley and I created the media camp back in 2015. Ever since, with the exception of last year, we've had a gathering of outdoor writers, radio show hosts, television show hosts, and a number of great sponsors like Bass Pro and Branson Convention and Visitors Bureau, and quite a few others over the years. We all gather down here in February to showcase the great winter fishing that's available, not only here at Taneycomo but across Missouri, and encourage people to come visit the great destination that is Branson, Missouri. So Phil and the whole staff have been so gracious and welcoming to us over the years. We've formed a really good relationship, and I know the riders and everybody enjoys this annual opportunity to get out on the water in the wintertime, when a lot of people are thinking the fishing is still a couple of months away. We like showing that that's not true. You can come down and have great fishing right now. Even though it's been a little tough these first couple of days. It was interesting. Shags and I recorded a podcast with Phil, and we talked about how the fishing on Taneycomo has changed a lot. I found it interesting that Phil said that there was a survey done by the department asking people if they're more interested in catching numbers or size. And overwhelmingly people said they were more interested in catching size. And that the department listened to that, and they reduced the stocking to hopefully increase the size of fish. And what we're seeing now, Phil says, and Blake seems to concur, is that you're not catching as many fish down here, but you're catching a lot bigger fish. And Phil used some weights from the tournaments that they've had recently to show that the average size of fish is increasing at Taneycomo. That's not to say you can't still come out here and have 50, 60 fish days, especially if you're in the boat with somebody like Blake or Dwayne Doty or Chuck Grease, or if you can get the knowledge out of one of those people to help you catch those fish. It's one of the best fisheries Shags and I have ever had the opportunity to be on. So thankful to be down here. Appreciate everything the Lilleys Landing staff does for the Conservation Federation and conservation in the state of Missouri. And if you're into podcasts, I hope you'll check out Driftwood Outdoors. The episode with Phil Lilley should be out Tuesdays from now, so a week from tomorrow. Check out the Driftwood Outdoors podcast with Phil Lilley.
All right.
Now I'll go back to catching the second fish.
A couple of swings it misses.
I'm gonna back the boat up again, boys. We're kind of getting near the golf course flat where everything shallows up, and I think that our best bet is to keep hitting this deeper water here in front of it. So I'm gonna move the boat back again. So CFM will be here for the next couple days. A lot of our local guides like Dwayne Doty and others volunteer their time to take the guys and gals out and try to show them some fishing on the lake. And so I think there's a guide trip planned for tomorrow I know of. I think Bass Pro, is Bass Pro still, you guys still?
Yeah, we have dinner tonight.
Dinner tonight.
Bass Pro's White River Fish House. But I'll tell you one thing I'm really excited about is seeing Larry Whiteley. When you walk into a Bass Pro shop and you hear the awesome voice on the intercom, that's Larry Whiteley, who is a 30-year employee of Bass Pro Shops, director of communications, ultimately. Incredible outdoor writer, outdoor communicator, radio show host. And he was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame last night.
Oh, wow.
So he's enshrined in there as an outdoor communicator for all he's done for fishing. So I can't wait to see Larry and shake his hand tonight and thank him for all he's done to promote the outdoors in Missouri through his work with Bass Pro Shop and beyond. So that's the kind of cool people we get to hang out with at this camp. And, have a lot of camaraderie around the outdoors, and especially fishing down here on Taneycomo.
Alright, we're going to go just a little farther here and restart our drift. This is kind of the area where things turned on for us just a little bit ago before we started the video. This hole here in front of the tennis court, it's not very deep. It might vary anywhere from 5.5 to 8 foot deep at most. But this little hole leading up to the flat at the golf course is sometimes a great holding spot for the trout. Especially I find that whenever the water's off and you got a big bright sun, the fish will tend to go to these deeper holes, especially ones that are setting in front of a flat or an increase in elevation. And it seems like maybe there are a few more fish setting in this hole right now that we have lucked across. So something I do with these, something I found with the megaworm, I don't know exactly what it is, but anytime I'm fishing an area, no matter what the depth is, I like to set the line so that megaworm will slowly drift and actually touch the bottom. I don't necessarily suspend my megaworms very often, and I know that it works when you suspend them too, but I tend to have better luck whenever I fish an area with the water off and let my megaworm go all the way to the bottom, and then occasionally move the indicator and kind of get it to lift just a little bit and set back down. I find a lot of the time they'll come and pick it up as soon as it hits the bottom, whether it's off the initial cast or after you move it. I don't know what it is about that they like.
Do you want it just skimming across the bottom or kind of bumping?
Either one, just kind of a movement to, encourage them to come take a look. At night, I actually, to go against what I just said, at night I suspend my megaworms more, but I find that anything at night suspended is generally a better option. The trout look up at night, and so even when I'm stripping a streamer here, I always go with the lightest streamer possible. I go with shorter leaders so that as my bait is swinging or I'm moving it, that it doesn't ever actually go down and touch the bottom. I like for it to be in the kind of middle-ish of the water column because those fish are looking up towards the moonlight and towards the surface. And that's just how I've had better luck. Even the jerk baits we use at night only suspend to about 3 foot. And so most of the water I always try to fish is usually a little bit deeper than that, something where they can look up and see it. As I work this back in, like I said, I'm moving the bobber towards me. You can do that by either wiggling your line like this. You can do that by pulling straight up on the rod tip. No matter what though, no matter what method, you can even just strip it back in a little bit. But no matter how you choose to move that, you always need to make sure you pull in your excess line, leave as little line on the water as possible, so that you have a chance at a good hook set when the time comes. And now it's seeming like we caught all 4 of the fish that were here.
I thought we were going to hit a little hot streak with Brandon.
I know.
Right out of the gate.
That's okay. That's just how it seems to go. And our wind has picked up a little bit. That does make this a little more challenging. I'm trying to keep the boat slow enough to leave our lines in the water as long as possible. If I let the wind blow us completely at speed, we'd be having to pull in and recast quite a bit. And obviously with fly fishing, the longer you can keep your fly down on the bottom in the water, the better chance you have at hooking a fish. I guess that really goes for anything, but if you're always recasting your fly and having to wait for it to sink and then having to recast again, you're not getting much time in the actual zone where those fish are eating.
Is mending your line important in this?
Yeah, mending your line is always important. Obviously, when the conditions are just right, you don't have to mend very often, especially from a boat. If you get the right drift and the right wind, you know, you don't have to constantly mend your line. But obviously, those conditions don't exist as often as the other ones do. So learning to mend your casts, mend your line is important. Now with the water off, your mending isn't necessarily changing the direction of the fly so much as it is when the current's running. You know, if your current's running and let's say you're coming up on a drop off, yeah, and you mend this direction, it causes that fly to push this direction, like downstream, and feeds the fly to the fish first before your indicator gets there. So there's certain methods with the water running that can change the direction of your fly or the depth by mending. But I say with the water off, not so much. But obviously you want to mend your line and keep it as straight as possible right now so that you have a chance to set the hook when the time comes. If you get too much of a bend going downstream, even right now, you know, if I let the wind blow it and we started pulling it, it would either pull the fly off the bottom this way or this way if your line was getting pushed too much one direction or the other. So that's where mending comes in play right now as well.
I'm starting to think about dinner.
I feel like 80% of the time while I'm doing the one cast, I'm thinking about food at some point.
It's almost like a surprise. We don't know what we're gonna have. Fish out.
It's my favorite game. Where am I eating? You already got part of your game figured out, though. You know where you're going.
But it's gonna be a steak. Is it gonna be fish? I know it's gonna be good. I just don't know what it's gonna be.
I'm debating if mine's gonna. I'm debating if mine's gonna be a quick fast food stop on the way to my meeting or a burger at the bowling alley later.
Did you see that go down?
Swing and a miss. Swing, bada, swing.
I like how you make fun of me for liking the bobber fish, but you don't consider this bobber fish.
It's an indicator. You're using a fly rod.
How dare you? 99 cents. This is a $6 indicator. See, Brandon gets to be all relaxed and chill up there. He got one on one cast. Like, I'm desperately begging that thing to go under back here.
Did you get one the last time you were on one cast?
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and end this video now.
Yeah. Brandon would like to keep the lead, so we're signing off. No. Nope, you've got another roughly 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh,
So just to help put the pressure on that begging back there.
Trying to extend my lead here.
If it makes you feel any better, you still got to catch 2 to catch up with you.
Oh, yeah, I'm just trying.
I just show up when we need to show up.
When the camera turns on.
The camera turns on, I turn on.
You're the clutch anchor player, huh? I see. I see.
You know who makes the most money on a baseball team typically? The closer that comes in and throws,
Yeah.
9 pitches in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
That is so true. You put the spotlight on that guy, he will perform.
Gosh, you guys are lucky I'm like the second Keanu Reeves, or else I would not have been able to dodge that.
He was swimming away from me. He was like, see ya. Oh man, that fish was on vacation. His bags were packed. It was on the road. Oh, I can't believe I missed it.
If you haven't figured out, these two definitely aren't competitive with each other. I will give Shags the credit. Both times we've been out, last night and today, he was the first one to get the skunk out of the boat.
No one fishes harder. He's missing his boat. He should be a tournament fisherman. It's impressive, like the work that guy puts in. It's exhausting, but impressive. So I slept in till 8 o'clock this morning, and he was up fishing at what?
Daylight.
And we caught the same number of fish.
Yeah, that is true, 0.
He drove down. He got up at 3:30 in the morning yesterday to drive down here and fish the dam at daylight. And he caught what? 4 fish.
and then fished on the boat until midnight, basically.
Some dude comes out with a pink power worm under a bobber and catches a 40-pounder.
Well, you don't get the opportunity. There's not a chance to catch it. Sweep it in.
Oh, we hooked each other.
Are we free?
I think we're free. That was amazing.
You got to show up to win. That's
Yep.
the truth.
If you guys want a rule of thumb, when you're fishing 3-4 people out of a 20-foot boat with fly rods, if you see a guy casting, you should wait.
I think he was talking to you,
It was just a general rule of thumb.
General.
I think he was still on himself because I was mid.
Yeah, I was the one who did it actually, but
Well, we got it on tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta pull up the
New York.
instant.
do what I say, not as I do.
That miss is gonna haunt me all day today and into tomorrow.
Did you feel the fish?
No, I didn't even get that lucky. I just got to watch the indicators come off.
So right now the boat's fought me down into the flat here, and the water in front of us is probably getting real shallow, and this will be the time to turn around and fish the other side of the boat most likely.
Now?
Yeah, we're just now crossing the threshold of where the flat starts, and this side over here is going to be where our indicators are set for, and not quite that side anymore. Ooh,
I didn't pay attention.
I'm breaking my own rule again.
Just broke your rule. I'm sorry.
You don't have to. Sometimes it makes more things a lot more interesting, you know. Nothing like making sure you still know how to untie a good knot.
We recorded a podcast also that'll come out with Tyler Dykes, who is the Show Me Fly guy. So if you're watching this video, you probably like fly fishing. Go check out Tyler's page, the Show Me Fly guy. Really great guy, knowledgeable fly fisherman, good friend to all of us.
I guess that is a fishing report. He's caught 2 nice ones.
Oh yeah, Tyler.
At the dam,
Tyler's up at the dam right now. They're waiting with the water off conditions, and
18, and I thought he said a 20.
18 and a 20.
So,
Maybe throwing a midge. We're not quite sure on the method of delivery.
hey, Blake.
Hey Blake, stop looking at the trolling motor and pay attention to your indicator, which he just took my fly and everything.
That was completely gone.
Yeah, he took it. It's gone. Well, boys, it's up to you.
Call it. Call it and pass out the belt.
I don't know. I'd say you got 2 or 3 more minutes.
Oh, we still got 2 or 3 minutes.
I'm ringing the 2-minute buzzer.
No. All right.
It's the final countdown.
I choked. I choked under the pressure. I missed the free throw. I did everything. I threw an interception. I choked.
This probably won't show up on the camera very well, but I'll give you guys a demonstration on how to tie a double surgeon knot while we're waiting on Shags to catch a fish. Okay. So, try slowing the boat down for these guys again. That wind is trying to screw up our fishing. So with a double surgeon knot, I'm going to take my line coming off my fly rod, my leader material. I'm going to take my tippet piece here. I always pull, if I want an extra 4 foot, I'm going to pull out 5 foot of leader or tippet material, because about a foot of this is going to get tied in to the, so I take about a foot of either side on my line. Okay, I cross them over each other, and now I'm going to put my thumb down, I'm going to make a loop, and I'm going to pull these 2 tag ends through that loop. Okay, and then somewhere in the middle, I'm going to pull them together, tighten it down. Okay, I've got my tag ends coming this way, my tag ends coming this way. I'm going to put my thumb right back over that knot I just made. I'm going to make another loop. I'm going to pull my 2 tag ends through again, all the way through. I'm going to make sure that the 2 knots are sitting over the top of each other, like so. And then I'm going to pull those together, nice and tight. We're going to take and cut off, maybe, well, take and clip off my 2 tag ends, and there you have a quick and easy way to connect 2 lines together. Oh, there's my worms. So with the mega worm piece that we're doing right now, take a full length mega worm. I'm going to come down to about right where the bend of the hook ends. I'm going to put it down against a hard surface and cut it off. Leaves about that much of a mega worm left, and you tie that on and get her going. And roughly I managed to set it the same depth it was before. I think we're deep enough over here on this side to go back to this side now. We've the boat's kind of scooted closer to the bluff.
Just one more crack at it.
He's really looking to have some overtime minutes here.
Yeah, I know. The 2-minute warning expired, but we're giving you a chance.
Lake is handicapped.
It's not even competing against you. I just want to keep my streak alive. I mean, it's a blessing and a real honor to be on one cast once, but to be on it twice.
Oh my gosh.
I want to get a shot at it.
This is pretty much like your last cast situation.
Yeah.
Like 2 more minutes. Okay, maybe another 2 minutes.
Come on, just one more.
Yeah.
Just 2 more minutes, that's all.
If anybody deserves it, it's Brandon.
Trying to push us a little bit closer to that drop off there.
It really is so nice to come down here though, this time of year. The crowds are gone, but the fish are still here.
Yep.
Just Phil and the whole crew of Lilleys, they're all so great.
It's a little cold in the mornings and at night, but like we're out here in a sweatshirt right now. You know, it's very enjoyable, comfortable winter fishing.
At this point, I don't think Blake's doing it for me. I think he's doing it for himself.
I think yeah, you're right.
Well, we are about to call it, so. We thank you guys for watching.
Make sure
We're
everybody
glad.
goes to Driftwood Outdoors and watches or listens to the Phil Lilley podcast.
Yep, check out the Phil Lilley podcast. I'm glad Brandon showed up to show us what a fish looked like today. And
One he caught.
You had to get that in there. You had to get it in there. That's because I was working, trying to save the planet most of the day.
all right. Well, we thank you guys for watching. Like and share us on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll come back out again tomorrow to do it again. Thanks, guys.
See ya.